File is more like, okay, what have you been doing, or like who you are. You also need to restructure and some might check and know how much the role will pay you. Like, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluwabusayomi A and I film content from Ontario, Canada. If you are new here, welcome. Please make yourself comfortable and join the family by subscribing. And if you're an old subscriber, you're an OG and you know how we roll, thank you for always coming back again. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about tips on how you can get a job as a new immigrant even before landing in Canada, and even like immediately you land in Canada. So I'll be sharing this as my own personal experience. This was what I went through and I would like to share with you guys, and like if you want to try out the things that I did even when I was in Nigeria before I landed. So just in case I'm looking down, I have my note here, so I'll just be picking out some things so I don't like skip any point or I don't forget any point that I have put down in my note to talk to you guys about today. Okay, so the very first thing that you need to consider, the very first thing that you need to work on is your resume. We call it resume here and we call it CV back home. So you need to consider that you need to work on that, and what are the things that you need to extract from your resume. So the very first thing, I'm going to open up my own here. So I'm going to open up my resume here and then walk you guys through like what are the things that I have there, and yes, so you guys can also know like how to draft your resume. Okay, and you can also check out this website, myperfectresume.com. You can get like an automated resume, like it will input some skills and it will input like some job function or job duties for you. You can also build your resume there, but you need to pay, mind you. You need to subscribe for that. But if you don't want to go through that, I'll just list out like some things that I have on my resume for you guys to know like how the standard Canadian resume works and like what you need to put in there, that more like the most important things that you need to put on your resume. So the very first thing that I have on my resume, the very first thing that you will see on my resume is my name, right? So my name, my full name is Oluwabusayomi, and this is what I've been using even when I was in Nigeria. But recently I went for an event, like a career fair event, and then I was like, it's more like a Nigerian career fair event. You know, Canada is a diverse country, so it's not everyone that will know how to pronounce like the deep Nigerian names, aside from names or Yoruba or Hausa names. So the person pointed it out that, okay, so for instance, my full name is Oluwabusayomi. So it's better for you to like abbreviate just use like a short form of your name and then put an apostrophe in front of it, so anyone that pick up your resume will know that, okay, this is not your full name, and here they will be able to pronounce the short form. So previously I was using, like when I was in Nigeria and even when I got to Canada, I was using Oluwabusayomi and my last name. But when after this job fair, I updated my resume and my name is now Yomi. So I have like an apostrophe before my name, like that's not the full name, right? So anyone that wants to pick up the resume can always be able to like pronounce my name. People, let's say some people from other part of the world, they might not be able to like pronounce the long name. So this is like personal preference. If you still want to use your full name, doesn't mean that you won't get a job. This is just like what I learned. I feel like I should also share. On very first thing that you see on my resume is my my full name, my first and my last name, then my phone number, that's my phone number, my email address, and my LinkedIn site. So once you click on that, it will take you to my LinkedIn and then my email and my phone number, more like my contact details basically. Moving on, you will see my profile, so more like my summary. So the profile is more like, okay, what have you been doing, or like who you are. That's like summary of who you are, what experience you have, and like what skills do you have basically. So the profile more like summarize who I am, my skills, my soft skills, my experience, what I've been doing. So after my profile, I have my experience. So the experience is your latest experience. So let's say you're still in Nigeria, so definitely you have like where you're working currently. Put your role, the name of the place you're working, the year that you've been working there. So let's say your role is a customer service or customer experience analyst. Let's say you are working with GT Bank, and let's say you've been working there, or you started working there since like let's say January 2022 or January 2021. So you put January 2021 till date, or January 2021 dash present. Then I listed out some of the things that I like have done or like I do currently at the current role. And then I listed it out. So followed by the previous place of work. So let's say that you started at like say January 2020 or like December 2022, January 2021. So you put it like that. And yeah, and if you've only worked in like, maybe you have say 2 to 3 years experience and you've only worked with just one organization, you can try to like split out like, okay, when you joined you were an associate, and then you like move to like supervisory or team lead role to supervise people and all that. Yeah, so you can just try to like split it like that, so your CV can have like a little bit of weight. So after that, you have your education. So that starts from the most recent education to like the least education that you have. So in this case, let's say you have masters and BSc. So I just advise you that you just put your masters and BSc on your CV, or say only BSc. Just put only BSc. You don't need to put your secondary school or your primary school education. So moving on, we have trainings and certifications. So in case that you have certifications, you can always add it there, or you have training, you can always add that there as well, and also include the year that you got the certification. So basically that's like the most important thing that they want to see on your resume. They don't want to see like your date of birth, your house address, or your they don't want to see that. So yes, so that's that about the resume. And yeah, so another thing that I would like to point out is that when you are applying, so there's like required duties that they expect like an applicant to be doing or to have done and like have experience on. So you want to make sure that you tweak your resume in a way that it matches the job description on the job you're applying for. So here in Canada, applying for job, it's a job on its own. You can't be lazy and be applying for job. It is not possible. So you really have to put in the work. So if you're applying for, let's say, you want to switch to like maybe customer service role to account manager role. I know in Nigeria, back in Nigeria, especially if you're working in a bank, you can still say that okay, it's almost like the same thing that you do as maybe an account manager. You do sales, you do marketing, you do customer service, even as an account manager. I can totally relate to that. But here in Canada, it is different. So you have to make sure that you search for like jobs that actually match what you want to do and match your previous experience, and try to also tweak your CV to match the job function, match the soft skills that they require for that job. Also, you can apply for jobs on Indeed, you can apply for jobs on LinkedIn, you can apply for jobs on Glassdoor, and other job sites. So the second tip I'll give to you today is know what the job description entails. So just like I said earlier, you have to make sure that you match the job description on the job poster of what you do or like what you've done. So just that way you have like high chances of getting like called. And once you get called and you can actually defend those things, yeah, then sure you should be good from there. The next tip I'll give to you today is research about the company. Yeah, so you cannot be applying to a company that you don't know anything about. You cannot be applying to a company. Yes, I'll just be frank here. The main reason why we're applying for jobs is to be able to meet our needs, right? Yeah, that's the major reason. Aside from like maybe growing and feeling fulfilled career wise, the main reason is to be able to pay your bills. Fine, everybody knows that, but you still need to know about the company. Okay. So I'll use myself as an example. So when we got our PPR, I started applying like back to back, say a month or 2 months even before we landed. I think it was a month before we landed when we got our passport request back. I started applying like back to back, and in I got couple of invitation interviews and all that. And I can tell you for free that 80% of the question that they asked was, okay, um why did you apply? Like they want to hear from you, like, do you know what the company is about? Why did you apply? What interests you? Like, do you have any interest as that matches the company's interest as well? So they want to really know that, okay, you don't just apply because you want to apply, but you applied and you've also done research about the company, you know more about the company, and you actually apply because you want to be a part of the company or like the organization. So the fourth tip I'll give to you today is get a virtual Canadian phone number. So this applies to people that are yet to land in Canada. So if you want to increase your chances of getting called back, or to increase your chances of getting interviewed, you need to get a virtual Canadian phone number. So this one I used Sonytel, and this is not a sponsored post. So this one I used Sonytel, and I subscribed to Sonytel, and I got a virtual Canadian phone number, which I put on my resume, and that I was able to get called. So the way it works, it's like an application. It's directs the call straight to your Nigerian number. So I had this small phone in Nigeria, and I know that anytime I get a call, and like 80% of the time, or like 99% of the time, the call will show as +1. So you already know that it's an international call. So anytime I get a call, I know that, okay, 80% chance is that, or like 90% chance is that it's an interviewer that is calling me, or like a recruiter that is calling me. So that way I'm prepared. So that's how I was able to get few interviews that I did in Nigeria even before landing in Canada. And but this actually helped me because I was able to build my interview skills even before landing in Canada. So I already know like how they interview, what they expect from you, like the common questions that they ask, and that actually helped me a lot. Next tip I'll give to you is that you need to restructure your LinkedIn profile, update your location, and set a job alert. So aside from networking on LinkedIn that you probably have heard like million times, you also need to restructure your LinkedIn. So on your resume, you can't put there that you're working with Coca-Cola, or you can't put there that you're working with Pepsi, and then your LinkedIn, you still have your NYSC. So you have to make sure that your LinkedIn also matches what you have on your resume. And then another thing that I've found, like when I see it on people's profile, want me to want to connect with them, is that try to list, it's not compulsory, right? But you can just try to list like things that you've done, like your job function, so also on your LinkedIn. So that way anyone that check your LinkedIn already know that, okay, so your LinkedIn is more like your first resume before like the proper resume that you submit for your job application. Even at times, recruiter can reach out to you on LinkedIn, and from there they could invite you for an interview. So you want to make sure that your LinkedIn is well structured, and your location is also updated, so that way you're telling people, because I like I mentioned earlier, you're getting a virtual Canadian number. When they call you and set up like an interview, and then they ask you where are you, because yes, they're going to ask you where are you, and then let's say it's not like you're lying, yeah, you're coming to Canada. So let's say you tell them that, okay, you are in Toronto, or maybe you are in London, or like any other part, or like Edmonton, or like any other part of Canada that you are landing, depending if you have like a provincial nomination, or you're coming in through express entry. So you tell them that this is where you are, but on your LinkedIn, your location is still set to be like Lagos or Ibadan. That might not, some recruiters might still continue with the interview process, and some might check, and that could be a turn off. So it's just best for you to be on a safe side, because you don't know what they're going to look out for. So just try to update your location and restructure your LinkedIn profile, and also set up job alerts on LinkedIn, so you get notified like anytime there's a new job alert in the field. Then the next tip is apply as often as you can. Yes, you need to apply as often as you can. Please, I'll just beg you that don't get tired. You are definitely going to get millions of rejection. You get, you are sorry, you get, you are thrilled that you applied here. You are like like, we are happy. There was one that I got when I was in Nigeria, like we are happy that you considered like working with us and all that, but we're sorry, we will not be able to move forward, this one, that one, they have like. So I'm like, so if you're happy that I applied, like, why don't you just give me the job? But it doesn't work that way. So you're going to get millions of rejection, and for every rejection, you are like one step closer to the main job, right? It's just one job that you need. So don't get tired, don't get discouraged. Even when you get that rejection mail, make sure you still apply. And also, when during your interview, I would also like to state that you, after you research about the company, also research about the pay. Know how much the role will pay you, like what's like the general what's the pay range of that role that you're applying for. So because at times recruiters will ask you like how much you want to, or how much do you want to get paid for this role, and if you tell them like, say, a payment that is not up to that, up to the amount that they budgeted for that role, they might not call you back. If you tell them like pay that is higher than their budget, they might not call you back. So you might just need to make your research, and also ensure that you know what the role is all about and also the pay range. Then one quick free tip that I'll also give to you, because when I was in Nigeria, I got to like the second level of interview, and that was actually like the final stage actually, but I didn't get the job. And I also got like feedback from the HR, like the recruiter. And one of the feedback that like part of the reason why I couldn't get the job was because I was speaking too fast. Yes, guys, because I was speaking too fast. So, one thing about Canadians is that like they take things very slowly. So you can't imagine me coming from like Lagos where everything is fast paced, coming from Nigeria where everything is like sharp sharp. You can't even be dully. And then I got an interview request, right? I was so happy. I got to the second stage, like I was so happy, and I wasn't even conscious that I was actually speaking too fast. That I got that one was about like not having Canadian experience. Anyways, it's not all the company that will want you to have Canadian experience before they hire you, but there are some that might reject because one does not have Canadian experience. And one thing about Canadian experience here is that even if you work at a restaurant, even if you work in a factory, even if you work as like a personal care or personal support worker, you have a Canadian experience could actually lead you to like the main job that you want. I'm going to shoot a video on like the survival jobs that we have in Canada, and also how you can make sure that you don't get comfortable with the survival jobs, because it can get comfortable at times. Like you can get carried away and get comfortable at times. But yeah, I'm going to shoot a video on that, so you guys want to watch out. Still on the interview process, you also want to make sure that you use the STAR method to answer any interview question. So almost like 80% or like 70% of the jobs, they would ask you a scenario based question. They just want to know like how you can handle a situation and how best you can provide solution. So you want to make sure that you use the STAR method to respond. So you'll be asked a question and you have to present a situation yourself, like when something happened and how you resolved that situation. So the STAR method is situation, that is like the scenario that happened or like the situation that happened, the task, what you are supposed to do, the action, what you actually did, and the result, what was the result, and was there any resolution, or like you had to escalate, and did you go back to check on that particular situation and how it was fully resolved. So you want to make sure that you use this STAR method to answer any interview question. It actually helped me myself. It helped me a lot. I landed in Canada and I had a couple of interviews before I got a present job. I had to use that. I presented a scenario and then I used the STAR method to answer that, and it actually helped me. So you might also want to research more on that and also use that in your next interview. Second to the last tip I'll give you guys today is, for every rejection mail, apply for 10 new jobs. Yes. So if you get one rejection mail, you want to make sure that you're applying for 10 new jobs. Just like I said earlier, it's just one job that you need anyways. And also, don't take it personal, just continue pushing. It's not personal anyway. It's not like they even know you personally, or it's not like because you are from Nigeria, or because you are from Ghana, or because you are from Senegal, or because you are from Japan or China. That's why they don't want to give you the job. So don't take it personal. Just keep pushing and also keep improving on your skills and keep taking any course or any certification that you feel it would actually help you get like your most desired job or your most desired role. The tip the last tip I'll be giving you guys today is always have question for the recruiter, and that's always the last question of your interview, right? Like always have question for the recruiter, because at the end of the interview, the last question is always, do you have any question for us? Always have question for the recruiter. And I would also narrow this back to knowing about the company, knowing about the role. If you know about the company and you know about the role, you will always have one question or two to ask the recruiter, maybe about the company, about the role, about the team. And that could actually also help you, because when they ask, like after the interview and they ask, do you have question for us, and you say no, it might actually feel as if you're not really interested in the company, or you're not really interested in the role. That might not necessarily stop you from getting the job, and that might not necessarily help you to get the job, but it's best for you to have questions for the recruiter. Okay guys, so I've come to like the end of this video. If you guys enjoy it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, massive thumbs up. Please subscribe if you are yet to subscribe. Please share your thoughts, how you were able to, if you're in Canada or you are currently interviewing, please share your thoughts below on how you were able to scale through that, and also drop any comment on anything that you need me to clarify for you guys, and I'll be in the comment box to answer you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video till this very point. Until I see you in my next one, stay cool. Bye.